Hey, this is going to be my second interview that I've done with a voice actor or actress, voice person, and it's going to be with voice actress Hilary Haag, who is one of my favorite voice actresses of all time. You guys might know her as Sister Rosette from Chrono Crusade, Karinka from Steel Angel Kurumi, and Nene from Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. Now, let me know how this interview goes, what you guys think of it, and give me some feedback because I do plan to do more in the future. I actually have some more planned out. So let me know. Let's get on with the show. And we're good to go. So I guess I'll start out by asking who's your favorite character that you voiced?
Well, I have a lot of favorite characters that I've voiced, and all for different reasons. I would say Sister Rosette Christopher from Chrono Crusades, probably my top, just because the emotional variety that I was able to explore and um, not my typical anime that I've done. So it was a lot of fun to do a different sort of character for me.
Oh yeah, that was a great series too.
I loved it. And then, of course, Ghost Stories was so much fun to do, as was Steel Angel Kurumi was just so much fun. Super Milk Tan, all those shows are just a great time. But it was fun to get to do something with a little more variation.
Yeah, a lot of people love Sister Rosette. I mean, every time when I brought your name up on Twitter when I said I'm doing an interview with you, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing an interview with Sister Rosette!" I'm like, "Yeah, you guys know her as that. I know her as Karinka."
No, two of my favorites. So you can't go wrong either way.
No, you can't. Uh, is there a particular character you dislike playing?
I'm sure there has been, but I forget those. So I don't know. I've done probably like 150 or 200 shows. And some of those just, kind of, I forget what they were, but I remember characters that I didn't really enjoy playing along the way.
Yeah, when I was editing your mug, I was like, "There's just so many characters here."
And half of them I don't remember. Probably half I don't remember. It's been a long time.
What's your thoughts on Nene from Bubblegum Crisis?
Well, of course, she has a soft spot in my heart because that was the first real show I did. And I mean, just the whole experience was so exhilarating for me that I love that character.
Really?
Yeah.
She's my favorite out of the series, so obviously.
Well, thank you.
I mean, she was the funniest one too. I like the nicknames that she would give people.
See, I don't even remember that. I guess I need to watch it.
I haven't watched it in a long time. I let a friend borrow it a couple years ago, but I'm thinking the one nickname I like, Leon Lapoo or something.
Oh, yeah. Now, yeah, I kind of remember that. So that's, it's been 20 years since I did that show. And I think I was concentrating so hard on, getting my lines right and the whole process. And the process was completely different back then than how it is now. So there was a lot more going on than just what was going on in the story. I was trying to get my side right.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Did you ever direct any pieces?
No, I haven't. No,
Really?
no, no.
Trying to think of
I
some
guess
more.
I guess I'm not really, I don't watch anime. And I think to be a director, you really would have to watch it and understand more. I always had another job when I was doing anime. I was always in sales, or now, I have a child and I'm always doing something else. So I don't sit and watch my shows ever, which is probably bad. But in order to direct, I think you'd have to have the whole big picture. I like to just show up and hear about my character and then do what I do and, then take off back to work or wherever I'm headed.
You're not the only one that does that, so don't feel bad.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Because I've got a few voice actor friends like, well, I don't remember saying that. And I'm like, yeah, you did.
Yeah. No, I don't remember most of it.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's like if you look at it, it's kind of like a job. You're just going into work. You're working your shift. it's like me. I work in a grocery store, so it's like, well, I don't remember exactly what I did that day. I just know I went there and did my shift.
Exactly. Although when you're doing anime, some of the lines, I mean, I couldn't give you an example now, but I'm like, this is the greatest job ever. Where do I get to go say stuff like this as, a 15-year-old character when I'm clearly not 15 years old?
Yeah,
So it's just a lot of fun to do that. I'm lucky.
yeah, like Karinka's lines. I think she had a pretty big potty mouth throughout the show.
Yeah, which was
Oh, I got a history with it. My best friend, the DVDs I sent you a few months back, he gave me those DVDs. So when I told him that you were signing them, he was like flipping out. He goes, "No way!"
that's awesome.
And I watched the show when I was about 14 or 15, and instantly she was my favorite character. And just because I liked her potty mouth,
Yeah.
she was the funniest character on the show too.
Well, thank you. Unfortunately, the potty mouth may come a little naturally. I don't know.
That happens to me too, so don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Like I said, don't worry. I just can't do it around my son either. So
Exactly. How old is your son?
he's 5.
Yeah, no, definitely don't do it around him.
Yeah, because he'll pick up on it and start copying me.
Yeah, I had that problem. Yeah. My son picked up a few from me and then we had to, reverse them.
Yeah, you have to fill it in with something else when you're about to say fire truck, something
Yes.
like.
Yes.
Have you made any friends in the voice acting realm, like really close friends?
I wouldn't say really close friends, but yes, definitely friends. I have people that I've worked with for 25, 30 years. John Swayze is the one that I've worked with forever. Kyle Jones. Kyle and I knew each other even before I got into anime. I don't think I was doing anime. Maybe I just started in anime. We were working at an advertising agency together. And then he came and joined the anime world a few years later. So it's just fun to see old friends, old faces pop up again.
So how did you get into voice acting?
Well, that's a long story, sort of. After college, I moved to Los Angeles, gave my parents a heart attack. It's like, I think I'm going to go be an actress. And they were like, spit their food out at Thanksgiving. Didn't know I ever even wanted to act. And I moved to Los Angeles and was just trying to figure out a way to break into the business. And every agent I met with said, you have a really cool voice. You should do voiceovers. But then that they would leave it at that. And nobody would say, hey, go talk to this person or go here. So I was never able to break into voice acting when I lived in LA. And after a couple of years, I moved back to Houston. I got a real job. I'm like, wah, wah. And I was looking through the newspaper, which I know nobody remembers the newspaper, but there was a newspaper that had an ad for cartoon voice actors. And so I went in and auditioned. And I can't remember if the audition piece was Bubblegum Crisis, but whatever I auditioned for, the first show I did was Master of Moskiton, and then I did Bubblegum right after that. So it was right around that same time. And I kind of just fell into it. And it was like the greatest thing I ever discovered. And I've had so much fun and been so fortunate to do this for so long. And that's, I love acting, but, you age out in some ways with on camera stuff. At least with the voice stuff, as long as you sound young, you can play young. So it's been very gratifying, I guess. I have so much fun doing it.
Oh yeah, it would be fun. I wanted to be a voice actor when I was younger, but I never really got into it. So I just started doing like YouTube anime reviews and stuff like that on my channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard. Every time we go to a convention, people ask how you get into it. I think the first thing is, you have to live where it's happening. It's happening in so few areas around the country. And then obviously it does help to have a background in acting, which I went and studied acting in LA when I was trying to figure out where I fit into this acting world. And so obviously a lot of fans have gotten into it over the years, but I think primarily the old school people were mostly actors before they were anime fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I try to explain to a lot of my friends. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to be an actor, so that's what I'm going to do. and just go off and do it. You have to kind of have experience.
Right. Right. Or not.
Yeah, either way, sometimes it's who you know.
Sometimes I question what I've done. I'm like, oh, that didn't sound very good. But even the actors I see on TV, sometimes I'm like, well, that wasn't a great performance. I mean, it just happens.
Yeah, well, not everyone could be Bryan Cranston or Terry O'Quinn or
Exactly. Exactly.
um have you ever had any bad experiences voice, like any strain on your voice or anything like that?
Oh, 1,000%. Absolutely. Especially during like bubblegum crisis when I was new to it. And, I was still going out at night and having fun with my friends. And then I would go work all day. And then I'd go to the booth at night and work for 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours straight, screaming, on those shows where it's a lot of fighting and fight scenes and screaming. I would definitely strain my voice a lot. And I was a lot hoarser back then. And so sometimes I listen to old shows and I can tell that uh, my voice had been strained either from life or from the show itself. And then another show that was really hard on my voice was called Princess Nine, which was so innocent. It was just about a girls' baseball team, and it was so much fun. But I was the pitcher in the show, so every take, the director would want me to really grunt and throw myself into it. And there was a lot of yelling. So I think I was like constantly drinking throat coat on that show also.
Wow. What are your thoughts on the TV show Angel Beats?
I don't remember it a whole lot. I think I'm in it, but
I know you are. That's why I asked.
I'm like, I kind of remember it, and we sang perhaps.
Yeah,
Or
you sing.
maybe,
I think. Well, I own it. I have a bad habit of buying things and never watching it. It'll just
yes,
sit. I've
yeah,
owned it for a few months now and haven't popped it in yet.
yeah. Well, if I sang on it, it may not be me singing because I'm a terrible singer. And so there was one point where I forget who was directing a show, but I was like, oh no, I have to sing. They're like, oh, don't worry, we're bringing somebody in for you. I was like, oh, thank God, because I am a terrible singer. But I love to sing. I'm just terrible.
Well, yeah. Same here. I'm really bad too.
Well, and I think a lot of it too, like if I could follow the beat, then I can be okay. Like some songs in English, I'm fine. But when I'm trying to listen to the song in Japanese and then we're translating it into English, I'm just not talented enough to do
Yeah.
that and sing. I can talk and do it. I just cannot sing and do it.
Yeah, probably about the same here. I had a friend that could actually sing in Japanese when she heard the song. I don't know how she did it, but she would. I guess because she would follow the beats to it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And, she could probably sing most of the Naruto openings and stuff like that. And I was like, how do you do that?
Yeah. No, I don't know because that's not me.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, what was maybe your worst experience in a recording booth?
I've almost passed out many times, especially doing like long running scenes. Like I really get into it. I'm like breathing heavy, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I'm lightheaded. And then also in Princess Nine, I actually slid off the chair and into the glass and fell on the floor just because I'd come from work. And this was back in the day when we had to wear suits to work. And so it's kind of like shiny, slippery pants. And the seats were like slippery seats. And I had my feet hooked in the chair. And so I was doing the throwing motion of the pitcher. And like I did it so hard that I threw myself off this chair and like literally hit the glass. It was kind of like a cartoon, like it was pretty bad. I wasn't hurt. It was funny. We all laughed, but it was probably the worst experience. Or another bad experience would be like you just cannot get a line right to save your life, or at least what the director is expecting it to be. And you do the same line again and again. You think you're doing it the way they're asking, and you're still not. And you're just trying so hard. Then there's frustration that can be hard there.
Oh, wow. I can only imagine, like I said.
Yep.
I know like a lot of YouTubers put skits in their videos, and me, I'm just one of those people who are straight to the point. So luckily I don't have to do a lot of acting.
Well, there you go. just be yourself. And I mean, on that note, a lot of what I've done over the years has also been, like when you talk about voice acting, I used to affect my voice in the early years to be higher and cuter or whatever. And all the directors were like, no, 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 just be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. And I think that's something that I've had to really learn to do over the last few years, is just sound more like myself, because I still sound young anyway. There's no need to affect it more.
Have you ever had any interesting fan interactions?
Of course. I mean, they're all fun and interesting, because I just find everybody interesting that I meet, especially at anime conventions. And, just it's so humbling when people say that they watch what you do, and, because you go do your job, but you don't expect people. I mean, I hope people are watching it, but you don't realize how it's affecting their lives. So it's always fun and interesting to meet the fans.
Have you been to quite a bit of conventions before? Or?
I have and I haven't. So back before I had my son, I probably went to like 10. And that was probably, 15 years ago. And then I finally went to one in November of 2019, right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to start doing conventions again, because my son's older now. He can kind of take care of himself if I'm gone a couple of days. My husband and he can handle it. The world's not going to end. And then I've kind of haven't done anything, but I'm hoping now that we're on the tail end of the pandemic, I would love to start going to conventions again, because it is so much fun to get out and, see all the cool, interesting people and the cool art. I'm just always amazed at how talented all these fans are. Like, I'm a fan of theirs, and they'll come up and say such nice things to us, but I'm just so intrigued by their cool costumes and the amazing art that they're creating.
Have you seen anyone cosplay as any of your characters?
I'm sure. Yes. I've seen Sister Rosette, definitely. And then have I ever seen a Minchie? No. But I've seen people like carrying around Minchies, and I don't recognize the characters is the problem. I think I've seen Tessa too, from Full Metal Panic.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of those. I'm trying to think what else. I've never seen a Karinka. I would love to see a Karinka.
Well, I don't think I could dress as her. That might.
No,
yeah, it might hurt some people's eyes.
It'd be fun though.
True, it might be, but it might also hurt people's eyes.
I hear you. I'm not doing it either. So
yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Besides me, has anyone else ever said that Karinka's their favorite?
Yeah, at conventions, I've had a lot of people come up because she's just so funny. I mean, if you have a sense of humor, you're going to like a character like Karinka, or my character from Ghost Stories, Satsuki, which I was almost blank on the name there for a second. But, they're just so funny that you definitely have people who appreciate that.
Do you have a favorite line from Karinka?
Oh, gosh.
I do. I have one. It makes me laugh. Luckily, my son's not home. I can say it. What the hell are you doing, you stupid pink bitch?
Oh, thank God for Stephen Foster. Those were Stephen's lines. And I mean, he would always take it to that next level. And just the infusion of comedy in his shows was always brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I laughed through the whole show.
Yeah.
Except
no,
for
I
maybe...
had so many lines like that. I mean, there were so many that I can't remember any one in particular.
Except for maybe the second season, I didn't care for. But other than the violin one, I'd never finished it. So I own it, but I didn't finish it.
Didn't watch it. Can't help you.
Yeah, I know. Do you have any favorite lines from other characters?
No.
No?
Yes, hold on. I mean, I know I do, but when you put me on the spot, I can't remember them. some of the Jesus lines from Monica Rial's character in Ghost Stories really made me laugh. Like,
Oh yeah.
I can't remember, but all her Christian Jesus lines were just so inappropriate, but also so funny.
I think she mutters a line like, "Do you believe Jesus is life savior and our Lord?" And I was like,
Yes.
I'm like, that's not even in the script, is it?
Yes. No, but those are the ones I'm talking about. Like that were
Oh
just
yeah.
kind of snuck in there like very quickly. And you're like, did she really just say that? You're like, oh yeah, she really just said that.
Um, do you remember a TV show in particular called Trinity Blood?
Yes, of course.
Who did you play in that one? I
I
haven't
don't know.
finished it.
Hold on, Seth. Seth. Yes.
Okay,
Seth something.
I
I think
haven't
so.
finished it. I've only watched the first 5 episodes, but I own it. I bought it when I was in high school.
Yeah. Well,
Like
the
I
only reason I remember Trinity Blood is because that's the only show I've gone to Funimation to do. Because it's hard to get from Houston to Dallas. So I've never really sought out a lot of work at Funimation. I've done some shows where we're able to patch in from Houston, but not many. But that's the only one I went to Fort Worth or wherever they are to do.
yeah, so there's different recording studios in Texas. I don't know this, so
Yes.
okay.
So yeah,
I didn't know.
Funimation is up in the Dallas area, and then whatever we are now, Seraphim is, and I always call it ADV in my head because it was ADV when I started. So to me, it's still ADV Films, but they're based here in Houston.
Yeah, I call them ADV or Sentai still.
Oh, Sentai, thank you. Yeah, that one too.
Well, they had another name in the middle, but they changed it again.
Yeah, yeah, keeps us on our toes.
Well, that's true. It's like, well, wait, no, I used to work there, but they changed it.
Yes, it's Sentai.
Yep, Sentai. Did you ever work on any particular movies for that company or anything like that?
For Sentai,
Yeah, anime movies is what I mean.
you mean like live action or
No,
anime?
no.
I,
Anime movies like I haven't watched very many like the Fate series like they do anime movies. I think that's Aniplex though, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, I think I have for sure, but I can't name them off the top of my head. Maybe just minor roles. I don't remember a major. I don't know.
All right. I
Well,
was
what was the one? The remake. Um, oh shoot, I'm blank on the names. I should have gone and looked through all my contracts so I could remember all the names.
have you ever gotten any good art pieces from fans or anything like that?
Sure. No, I mean, especially at conventions, it's so fun when fans bring me their artwork and I have them sign it. Like I say, some of these people are just so incredibly talented and they whip it out so quickly. I'm just amazed.
Kind of like me with the mug thing.
Yes. Like that was amazing how you just whipped that out.
Well, I used to do it on my phone. I do it on my laptop now. It's so much easier.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I started doing that for a lot of people, and yeah, it was just really fun for me. And it's nice to see people actually happy to get an item to show that I do appreciate all the hard work that you guys have done for us.
Yes, absolutely. No, and I'm scared to use it because I'm notorious for breaking my mug. So it's kind of got its own special little spot on the shelf where
You're
it's occasionally used, but then I'm like, nah, I can't do that.
you're not the only one. I don't think Linda uses hers either. She said that she's just going to keep it in a case, and I'm like, why? I can make you another if it breaks.
No, 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 no. We don't do that.
Uh, I'm just never been picky about that kind of stuff. It's like, well, if it breaks, just tell me. I'll make another.
Okay, well, good to know because yeah, I could break it. It happens.
You're clumsy.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Don't feel bad.
I think the
Uh,
main problem is that I'm short. So when I'm cleaning like dishes in the sink and I'm going to put them in the dishwasher, I'll sometimes like accidentally hit the side of the sink, like or the counter. And I've broken so many dishes and plates that way, like by accidentally. I'm clumsy.
yeah.
That's it.
Well, see, what makes it worse for me is I've broken glasses and stuff, and I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm
It
just
happened.
I'm just naturally a klutz. I was born that way.
I think we all have a little of that.
Uh, I get yelled at quite a bit for it.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Um, Trying to think some more. I do this all the time. I forget to make notes. So I
Me
always
too.
think I keep a lot of things in my head, my memory. I have a really big memory on stuff. But when I'm actually doing it, it's like, what now? What was I gonna say?
I
Um,
hear I should have made notes myself because I know that most people always ask similar questions that I could answer. But I think we've covered how'd you get into anime, how the voice acting process, yada yada yada.
well, I do appreciate you coming on though.
Well,
Uh,
I appreciate you having me.
yeah, it was actually pretty fun to do this, even though I could ask better questions, right?
No, you got all the. I mean, it's an anime interview, so you got the anime in there.
That's true.
Yes.
Did you ever have any problems with any other workers or anything like that?
Oh gosh, no, no.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I hear some people, they tell me it's like, no, well, he's kind of a jerk or she's kind of a jerk. You never had any issues like that with anyone?
No, because like I say, I don't really hang out as much. I just go in, do my job, and leave. And I've had nothing but great experiences with all the directors, all the engineers. I mean, I always just have so much fun, but I'm in and out. So and I don't get into drama. I'm not big on social media. And I think social media is where a lot of stuff happens when people start, I don't want to say airing their dirty laundry, but
Yeah.
basically airing dirty laundry. And then things get started. And I'm just not into that. I'd rather just see people in person.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. I'm slightly antisocial, so
Yeah. Well, I'm very antisocial on social media.
that's what I mean for me. I mean, I'll post on Twitter what's going on or what the event is or something.
Yeah. Okay, that is one thing I don't get. I finally opened a Twitter account when I went to New York for the convention year and a half ago, whatever. I don't get Twitter. I don't get the feeds, and I feel so bad because people will post stuff, and I go look at it like every 6 months, and then I don't know because how they tie into each other and the comments and the likes. I don't get it. I've never been a Facebook person. I'm more of an Instagram person, but I do nothing related to anime on my Instagram. It's just like my random stuff in my own life. So I
Mhm.
need to figure out the social media thing for acting and anime, but it just wears me out.
Yeah, I mainly just use it to post on my about my YouTube. I actually had my Twitter taken from me not long ago, so I had to start from scratch.
Oh no.
Yeah, I guess I posted something controversial and it offended somebody, and I don't even know what I posted. I'm kind of an opinionated person and I can be very sarcastic. So my old Twitter was named Mr. Sarcasm.
Uh-huh.
So, I just say what's on my mind or I'll call somebody out and it would just, I guess it just starts offending people. I have no idea.
It doesn't translate through technology. Like if you had
Mhm.
not in-person conversation, we'd probably get your sarcasm, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I can be pretty sarcastic too. I have to bite my tongue a lot. I have so many times when I start to respond to something on, like, I'll look at my Facebook account and I'll look at Twitter sometimes, but again, I don't get it. And I start to comment and I'm like, I better just not say that. I'm just gonna keep it to myself.
Yeah. I think the last thing you posted was your Karinka plush and that was it.
Yeah, I had to figure out how to do that. So
I had to
thank you.
figure out I had to figure out how to get this laptop working. I spent 2 hours last night working on it, so and
Well,
I get
we're both
frustrated. I
moving into
yell.
the 21st century, I guess.
Yeah, I'm still living in the '90s. That's my problem.
Well, I'll forever be in the 90s.
Yeah, I think I will too. I still use VHS and DVDs.
I don't do that because I'm too lazy to go hook them up, but I do have a couple of them sitting around the house.
Yeah, me too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, speaking of like living in the wrong decade, the other day I took my son and his friends to dinner, and they're all 13 now, so they're very cool, And they were going to a boy-girl party. And he's like, looks at me, he's like, Mom, you're not going into this party, are you? I said, I might come in and say hello. I mean, what's the big deal? He's like, if you do, take that hat off. You look like you're from the 80s. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I won't go in with the hat on. Lose the hat.
Kind of reminds me of the scene from Uncle Buck. You're not going to wear that. You're not going to wear that hat, are you? They'll kill you.
Exactly. Yes. They are vicious 13-year-olds, so you never know.
Any kind of teenage, they're called meenagers. So I was one. Yeah. I think I still am slightly, even though I'm 30.
For sure. I was evil. I was terrible to my parents. And I keep trying to remember that like this too will pass. They will come back and be normal, contributing members of society.
You just got to put your foot down with them.
Yeah. Or just laugh at it and know that that's their way of growing and expressing themselves.
Anyway, it was a really good pleasure to have you come on the show.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. Hope it wasn't too boring. I warned you. I don't watch anime, so I don't know these answers.
No, you weren't boring at all.
Okay,
it was actually pretty fun.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again for having me.
And
you made me break out of my non-internet interview mold.
Okay. Anyway, for those people who don't know, this is Hilary Haag, and she was just on for the interview.
Thanks again for having me.
And you're welcome.
Have a good weekend, week, whatever we are.
All right, you as well.
Hello. It is I, George Newbern, as Sephiroth, to tell you all the best way to get into the Promised Land is to like and subscribe to Tim's YouTube channel for more awesome content. See you there. Or get on your knees and beg for forgiveness.